What kind of person runs a full marathon? Every day or for an entire year? Not for glory, not for a world record, but simply because he said he would. This is not just about running. It's about doing something that terrifies most people, committing to discomfort every single day. This is the story of Gary McKee, a man who taught the world that discipline isn't a trait, it's a daily decision. We are living in the softest time in human history. Everything is designed to make life easier. Food delivered in minutes, entertainment streamed instantly, comfort on demand. And yet something inside us feels off. Anxiety is up, focus is down, and young people are more lost than ever. Why? Because comfort without challenge leads to emptiness. We weren't built for endless ease. We were built to grow, to struggle, to endure, to do hard things, on purpose. But most people only move when they feel like it. They wait for motivation, for the perfect moment, which never comes. Gary McKee didn't wait for motivation. He ran while sick. He ran in the cold. He ran through fatigue, grief, and doubt. And he did it every day for 365 days. Gary isn't an Olympic athlete. He's not a millionaire or a celebrity. He's a father from a small town in England. In 2022, he set out to run one marathon per day for an entire year. That's 26.2 miles every single day, rain or shine. He didn't do it for followers. He didn't do it for applause. He did it to raise money for cancer charities, to honor his father who died from the disease. By the end of the year, he had run over 9,500 miles, worn through more than 20 pairs of shoes, and raised over 1 million pounds. But the real story isn't the number, it's the mindset. Imagine waking up every day knowing that no matter how tired you are, no matter how busy or broken or burned out you feel, you still have to run a marathon. Most people wouldn't last a week. Gary lasted a year. Gary's biggest enemy wasn't the distance. It wasn't the pain. It was the internal war we all fight, the battle between mind and will. Every morning, that voice inside his head would whisper, "You've already done enough. Just take a day off. No one would blame you." That voice shows up for all of us. It's the same voice that tells you to skip the gym, to stay in bed, to quit early. But Gary didn't negotiate with it. He showed up anyway. He knew that the hard part isn't starting something. It's showing up when you don't feel like it. We live in a culture obsessed with feelings, but feelings are fleeting. Discipline is the anchor that holds you steady when your emotions try to pull you off course. That's why Gary's story is so powerful, because it's not about talent or genetics. It's about choosing integrity over comfort every single day. Most people think discipline is this rare quality that only a few special people are born with. But that's a lie. Discipline isn't something you have. It's something you do repeatedly. Gary didn't wake up on January 1st with the ability to run 365 marathons. He built it. He trained his will like a muscle. Every time he ran when he didn't want to, his discipline grew stronger. Every time he rejected the easy way out, his mind became tougher. That's how real strength is built. Not through hacks, not through motivation, but through consistent, often boring effort over time. One marathon at a time, one day at a time, one battle at a time. There's another reason Gary didn't quit. It wasn't just discipline, it was purpose. When you do something for a reason bigger than yourself, quitting becomes harder. Gary was running for his father. He was running for cancer patients. He was running to make a difference. That meaning gave him energy that motivation never could. Most of us are exhausted not because we're doing too much, but because we're doing things that don't matter. We scroll, we distract, we drift, and then we wonder why we feel empty. Purpose is what fills that void. When your actions are aligned with something meaningful, you become unstoppable. That's the secret. Find your reason, make it real, then build your life around it. Let's be honest. Most of us avoid pain at all costs. We avoid rejection, failure, criticism, discomfort, anything that makes us feel weak. But pain is not your enemy. Pain is the doorway to strength. No one becomes mentally tough by avoiding hardship. They become tough by walking through it over and over again. Gary embraced pain, not because he enjoyed it, but because he knew it was part of the process. And here's where Stoic philosophy comes in. The ancient Roman emperor Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Gary's pain didn't stop him. It shaped him. It revealed him. We don't grow despite our struggles. We grow because of them. Your anxiety, your self-doubt, your insecurities. These aren't signs of weakness. They're invitations to rise. But only if you stop running from them and start running through them. You might be thinking, I'm not a runner. This isn't about me. But it is. Because the real question isn't, can you run 365 marathons? It's, can you do the hard thing every day, even when no one's watching? Can you keep the promises you make to yourself? Can you follow through when motivation disappears? That's the true test. We all have a marathon to run. For some, it's showing up to the gym. For others, it's building a business, writing a book, fixing your life. Your marathon is the thing you know you need to do. But keep avoiding. Gary proved that impossible goals are just small goals multiplied by discipline. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be consistent. That's what changes everything. Imagine who you'd become if you stopped giving up so easily. Imagine the life you could build if you chose discipline over comfort, just for 1 year. You don't need to run thousands of miles. You need to run toward the things you've been avoiding. That's what Gary McKee did. He ran with pain. He ran through grief. He ran straight into the fire and came out forged. So here's your challenge. Pick your marathon. Start today. And don't stop. Not when it's hard, not when it's boring, not when it's lonely. Just show up one day at a time, one step at a time. Because on the other side of discipline is the life you've always wanted. If this story lit a fire in you, don't let it fade. Pause, reflect, then act. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now hit subscribe if you're ready to stop escaping discomfort and start building unshakable discipline. And remember, you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. Be like Gary, lace up and run.